Good morning, or depending on when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. Oh, and it turns out we got some new cards from Mask of Change that have gone and been revealed, and that means we need to have a talk about the new cards from Mask of Change that have gone and been revealed. I wasn't expecting any Mask of Change reveals this weekend. I was expecting them to, stick with Crimson Haze for the time being, but no, ladies and gentlemen, we've got ourselves Mask of Change. Am I upset? Not even a little bit, because we've got the Loyal Free to talk about. And I was racking my brain yesterday. I could not remember the trio name for these dudes. So I messaged lovely Joe over at Cerebi.net, lovely dude. And I was like, hey Joe, what's the trio name for these dudes? And he was like, oh, the Loyal Free. And I'm like, yeah, that's why I forgot the name. Come on, Treasures of Ruin, that's a team of legendary Pokemon. The Loyal Free? Never mind. But they are here, and they could be good. As always, I've done the translations myself, but check with the lovely Antoine Boulet to make sure I've not done anything dumb. We've got a couple of supporter cards as well. We are very much in the teal mask here. So let's start off with Okie Dokie, the dog thing. And look, the attack here, you can already see, 2 energy, 70 damage, nobody cares. But we've got the ability Adrenaline Power. If this Pokemon has any darkness energy attached to it, it gets an extra 100 HP and its attacks do an extra 100 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon. So now it's a single prize Pokemon with 230 HP that does 170. And as I've told you a couple times lately, 170 is key because it means with weakness you'll one-hit KO literally anything, and fighting is a great weakness to hit. Colorless, lightning, some darkness, really good one to hit. But the problem is the attack is for 2 fighting energy, and then you need a darkness on there as well. And when I first read this ability, I was like, oh my word, that's broken. And then my eyes went further down the card and I was like, oh. You see, if the attack was for a fighting colorless, and I could just have a fighting and a darkness on here, I'd be looking at this going, yeah, you know what? That could work. But it's not. Dark Patch won't work here because you're not a darkness Pokemon. Accelerating to fighting Pokemon is kind of awkward. And then, yeah. Like, if you can get the energy on here, it's brilliant. I'm just not sure how many decks are going to be able to do so. And look, there are some options. Obviously, Lost Zone decks can absolutely go for this. Mirage Gate will get the energy on. So that can absolutely work. But then you've got to be playing, like, the fighting energy and all of that, which you can do. Like, you can build this into a Lost Box, but you've got to play Darkness and Fighting, and you've got to play enough Fighting to use it. So I'm not entirely sure, but it could work. It's at least an option. Obviously, Luminous Energy works quite nicely here, because I believe Luminous Energy works. Let me know in the comment section if I'm being dumb. But you don't have to have a basic Darkness Energy on here, just a Darkness Energy. So Luminous Energy will provide the Darkness Energy for the ability and the Fighting Energy for the attack, I think. And there is a hilarious combo here with Crisis Core, because if you get free energy on, if your opponent's got 1 prize remaining, you might as well just use Crisis Core. I clearly mean Crisis Punch. I keep calling it Crisis Core, which is a Final Fantasy VII spin-off game. I clearly mean Crisis Punch. And then you'll actually do 380, which will KO literally anything, while then having a huge HP as well, so the return KO is not going to be that easy. There's options here. I'm giving it between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric. Lots of potential, awkward to get rolling. Now, we do have Fezandipti here, which is kind of cool, and I kind of like this one as well. Now, we've got an ability here. If there's a Darkness Energy attached to it, flip a coin when it takes damage. If heads, prevent that damage. Cool. And then single energy, 30 damage for each energy on this Pokemon. And again, it's just awkward. Just like we saw with Okie Dokie, it's awkward. Because you need lots of energy on here in order to do lots of damage. It is only energy to this Pokemon, not to both. So you can't punish your opponent for attaching energy. It doesn't work that way. And then it's just kind of awkward. You've got to get lots of energy on there, but then if you get KO'd, you've lost all the energy. And you've got a 50% chance of not getting KO'd, but you then could get me KO'd, and oh yeah. I mean, it is going to be brilliant at pre-releases. absolutely brilliant. And there is an option for putting it into Gardevoir decks. But then, and I've said this before, but let me say it again, you've got to play the Darkness Energy. Gardevoir is going to be great at putting a whole bunch of energy on it. And then if you can flip heads and it can survive a turn, yay. But now you've got to muck about with Darkness Energy. And that's kind of the point I'm getting at with all of these loyal free. The Darkness Energy doesn't go naturally onto them. So you've got to muck about playing the Darkness Energy, and that becomes a little bit of a problem. I'm giving this between 3 and 4 Wassies. When I give half Wassies, that would be barbaric, potential, but awkward. But maybe Monkey Dory can save us. And yeah, it actually can. It absolutely can. Because it's got an ability. Now, the attack is terrible. 2 energy, 60 damage plus confusion. Nah, mate, terrible. But we like the ability. Because what we've got here is once during your turn, if this Pokemon has any Darkness Energy attached to it, you may move up to 3 damage counters from one of your Pokemon to one of your opponent's Pokemon. It's not when you attach the energy, it is if there is energy attached to it. So you can leave this on the bench. It's a basic Pokemon. You can leave this with just a single energy attached to it, and then you're good to go. That's why I like this. That's why I think this is good. Because you whack a basic Pokemon on the bench, attach a single energy, and just sit there and chill. This is awesome. Really awesome. Now, you've got to be playing the Darkness Energy again, which can be a problem, I grant you. I acknowledge this. But it can just sit there and use it. With the other two, I'm like, well, you need the energy to attack, but then you also need the energy, which is super awkward to get on, etc. Here, no, bench it, attach an energy, sit there and use it every single turn. Yeah, it's a really nice ability. Just sit there and use it. Now, of course, several of you at this stage are going to be yelling, Wassy, Wassy, Wassy. What about Radiant Alakazam? Well, Radiant Alakazam is a Radiant Pokemon, so you can only play 1 in your deck. And it only moves 2 damage counters rather than 3. This is 50% better than Radiant Alakazam, and it's not a Radiant Pokemon. Now, you do have to have the energy attached to it, and that can be a pain, and you might not always have the attachment for turn. Because like I've said, you're going to basically have to attach for turn here. And there are going to be games where you just can't attach. There are going to be decks where you just can't spare the attachment. But maybe in something like a Gardevoir deck, because you're accelerating energy with the EX, maybe you can spare the attachment here. And of course, you're damaging anyway with the Gardevoir's ability, so maybe it's going to work. And look, I know I literally just got finished telling you that I don't like the other one, the bird in Gardevoir, because of the energy. Here, it's an ability I can use every turn, and I'm healing my Pokemon while moving damage, and it's sitting there and I can spare the attachment for the turn. Yeah, this I really like in Gardevoir. I'm giving it 4 Wassies. I think this is cool. And I love the idea that it can just sit on the bench and use the ability every turn. But wait, we've got a couple of supporter cards we can be looking at as well. And it's, you know, that pair from the Teal Mask, from the DLC. Cool. And I think Carmine is great. I think Carmine is brilliant. I love Carmine. Because what we've got here is discard your hand, draw 5 cards. But you can use it if you go first on your first turn. Yeah. Obviously, after that, it's rubbish Professor's Research. It's literally Professor's Research, but you get 2 fewer cards. Obviously, nobody likes this instead of Professor Research after turn 1. That should be obvious. But when it is turn 1, I love it. And look, how many games of Pokemon have you won because you got set up faster than your opponent? And how many of you lost because your opponent had a good start and you didn't? Yeah. This does that. Obviously, any deck that really wants to play for the discard pile is going to have a great time with this. That should not surprise anybody. But just the idea that you can use this turn 1, going first, and then start really getting set up, I absolutely love this. It's an awkward one, because I don't think you really want to play 4 of it, because if you play 4 of it, you might as well just play Professor's Research, because that's a better card after turn 1. But what you can do here is maybe search it out turn 1 with Lumineon, for instance, that would work. Or just play a couple copies of it because, well, you know what, I'm playing Squawkabilly anyway. There is a decent chance I draw into it. And now, turn 1 going first, you can potentially use this, and you can use Squawkabilly. And oh, you can't use a supporter, but actually between the two of them, that's 11 cards just straight off the bat. We are going to see some nuts turn 1s because of this. I'm giving this team 4 and 5 Wassies, but don't give half Wassies. That would be barbaric. I think this is a great card. And I'm not even sure it is a replacement for Squawkabilly like some are suggesting. I think there are going to be decks that use it in conjunction with, and it's gonna get stupid. But hey, want one more? How about Kieran? Kieran's kind of fun, and it gives you 2 options. You either switch, or during this turn, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX or active Pokemon V. Look, using this as a switch is clearly not great, okay? We've got Switch, which will switch, and is an item, not a supporter card. But how many times have we played these kind of supporters? Taytanizer is one that I always think back to. That was a switch. And you never really wanted to use Taytanizer as a switch. You wanted to use it as a shuffle draw 5. But I played Taytanizer in a bunch of decks, and I'm telling you right now, there were plenty of times I switched with it. Not because I particularly wanted to, but because I really needed a switch and that was there. I don't think you play this wanting to use it as a switch. You play this and then you're happy because you've got an extra switching option. Really, you're using it to do an extra 30 damage. And look, extra damage is always good. And when you combine the 2 of these, I can do extra damage or I can switch. We end up with a very, very nice card indeed. I'm giving this an extremely tentative 4 Wassies. And goodness me, I almost forgot that there's actually a single prize Sinistcha, which is in this set as well. To go with the EX I showed you earlier from Crimson Haze, we should probably have a quick chat about this one. Now, obviously, in terms of the pre-evolution, it's got 30 HP again. It is, oh my word, hilariously weak. Like, seriously, if you're going to be playing Sinistcha, you've got to try and... Poltergeist is bad. Now, this one's got 40 HP. The one I showed you earlier only had 30. So, you know, this is better. In terms of what we've got here, we've got single energy, flip a coin if heads it fails. Which, you know, 30 damage for single energy is fine, but having to flip a coin is not ideal. And the other one is find a basic grass energy from your discard pile, show it to your opponent and put it into your hand. Translating them on the fly there, they don't seem particularly great. But the Sinistcha here, oh, we like this one. Now, we've got single grass energy, 70 HP I should mention is horrendous again, really bad. We got single grass energy, put 4 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon in any way you like. It is, frankly, not very good. I'm going to be honest with you. But we do have single grass energy, 70 damage, and you can discard up to 3 grass energy from your Pokemon in play, and this attack does 70 damage for each energy card discarded in this way. In decks that are getting a bunch of grass energy out, and remember I showed you the Ogerpon, the Teal Mass that can attach extra energy with its ability, you know what? That's not too bad, ladies and gentlemen. That's not too bad. Also, brilliant combo with the EX, because remember the EX's first attack lets you shuffle all your grass from your discard pile into your deck and put 2 damage counters onto one of your opponent's Pokemon for each basic grass that you've shuffled back. So there is clearly quite a nice combo going on here that we like rather a lot. I'm giving this 3 Wassies. It's very, very weak, but it is a decent single prize attacker. But I do need to finish off with one more card. There was one more card from Mask of Change. It'd be weird just to leave this one out there. It is Bug Catching Set. And it's an item card. Look at the top 7 cards of your deck. Choose 2 in any combination of grass, Pokemon, and basic grass energy. Put them into your hand. Shuffle the other cards back into your deck. It's cool. Honestly, if you're playing grass decks, this seems like a very, very good card. Simple as that. And let's not forget, yesterday we looked at Teal Mask Ogerpon, which lets you attach a grass energy from your hand and draw a card. Well, you need the grass energy to do so, so this seems pretty gosh darn nice there. Obviously intended to be used as such. I'm giving this 4 Wassies, but this is a weird kind of card, right? Because great in grass decks, garbage outside of grass decks. I'll let you make your decision. I've given it 4 Wassies. I'm on record. Now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards you're excited about. Tell me what you think of the Loyal Free. Tell me if you think any of them can work. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at The Wassie. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, like the lovely Chelsea Rose, who's been one of our biggest supporters for quite a while now, and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.